Hey, it's your boy KP, and I am back with another episode of The Kyle Petty Show. This time, I had the distinct pleasure of chatting with the fiercely talented Veronica Fox, who is currently starring as Susan et al. in Tick Tick Boom over at Theater 3 in Port Jefferson. Um, I actually had this conversation with her before I saw the show, okay, because I just saw it this past Saturday, which had a blast, by the way. Saw so many very, very notable Long Island theater performers, including the incomparable John Rivera. Christina Diorda was there. Who else did we see? We saw a lot of different people. Obviously, Ryan Nolan was there. Obviously, you know that we're quite friendly. I mean, there's just like a ton of people, and I know I'm forgetting people. I'm definitely going to get in trouble for this. Tammy Dorsa was there. Lots and lots of really, really fantastic people. Obviously, also had the pleasure of seeing Jeff Sanzel, as you saw on the socials. I just love that man so much. You can catch my review of the show at thekylepettyshow.com. But yes, again, I had this conversation with Veronica before I saw the show, and I'm glad that I did, because I got some insight to it, before I headed down. So you'll be able to see that in just a moment. But first, I did want to share something with you because, I was tried this past week. Okay, I was tried, and I was tried at work, which is like the worst place to be tried, right? Because sometimes we forget exactly who we are, and a different side of us comes out, right? So let me tell you the story. We have this shared spreadsheet, right? An Excel spreadsheet, where the idea is you can put a question in, and somebody from audit and compliance will respond to you within 24 hours. It's very nice, very accommodating, very, very team focused, right? And if any of you have used one of these shared documents before, Microsoft tells you if anybody else is in that document at the same time. Again, that's very important to this story, because I got into the sheet and I was the only one in there. Actually, that's not true. I got into the sheet and there was an auditor already looking at it, right? I said, ooh, if I ask my question right now, maybe she'll respond right away, right? So super jazzed. I'm putting my question in as quickly as I could. And she ended up leaving the sheet before I finished my question. So I know she was watching me type, and she's like, I'm getting out of here because I don't want to deal with this right now. But that's okay. That's all right. No hard feelings. I put my little question in there, and at this point, there was no one else in the sheet, right? Order's gone, so I'm just there alone. And I said, okay, so I put my question in, and I move away. I did not close the sheet, though. Okay, that's also important to note. I did not close the sheet, but it just was not active, right? It's not the present window. So I go on, I'm doing my business and everything. And I said, well, maybe Miss Auditor Lady will pop back in and answer my question, since she knew I was actively typing. And at this point, I see this other young lady. We'll call her Monica, because I don't want to use real names here. So I see Monica pop into the sheet and it's like, okay, well, whatever. That's natural. I expect, obviously, other people to be in here. So the next time I look at the sheet, do you know she moved my question down and put hers in front of mine? Who do you think you are? What the hell is that? Right? So I'm sitting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really, really angry. And I pull up a Teams message now to message Monica. I just went, what the hell is your problem? But then I realized I couldn't do that because we had a virtual talent show a little over a year ago. And I had sung a little ditty. And she actually had messaged me to say that she thought I was very good. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't be nasty to you now, but still, what the hell, Monica? Right? That does not negate the fact that today's behavior is unacceptable. So I said, and I vacillated over this for a quick moment. I said, no, you know what? It is totally within my right to move her question down. So I sure did. I copied and pasted. I moved her right back down. And we are the only two people in this sheet, right? I know she saw me do it. And this was early afternoon. I mean, 1, 2 o'clock latest, right? 3 o'clock comes, 4, 5, and she's still in the sheet. It's just me. I know she's watching because she wants to move my question back down. The nerve. And I kept clicking around. I kept moving my cursor around because I wanted her to make sure. I wanted to know that she knew I never left. Listen, Petty is in my name. All right. Do not try me, Monica. Right? So I just kept clicking around, clicking around. Do you know I stayed in this sheet until about 7:50 p.m.? Had long since clocked out, but anytime I walked by and I still saw Monica's face up in the corner, clicking, clicking, I'm clicking, because But that's really the way it ends, because I actually don't think that Monica really cared that much. I feel like she was probably just making dinner for her kids or something like that. And she probably just moved on and she just forgot to sign. But I'm thinking we've got this active feud. I'm like, baby girl, I am not dropping this one. Okay. But I don't know. She didn't move my question back, and the question got answered. So I guess that's really the end of the story. But the nerve of some people, right? The nerve. Any Hoosers, what's coming up next? So we saw Tick Tick Boom last weekend. Again, review on thekylepettishow.com. After this, I'm going to go see the Wild Party at Cap Merrick. All right, I've never been to this venue. Super excited to go, and super excited to see the Wild Party, because like the music in this show is absolutely tremendous. It's something it's constantly on, at least in my head, right? Because I guess it can't constantly be on, right? We do listen to other things, but Wild Party music is absolutely fantastic, and no one ever does it. So I'm super excited to go see it. So I'll be there on Friday. I don't know what I'll be wearing, but who cares? It's not like I'm some fashion guru. Just come and say hi if you're there. So that's what's going on. And now, without further ado, here's my conversation with Veronica Fox. I hope you enjoy, and thank you again, Veronica, for hanging out with me. Hello, everyone. I am back with the multi-talented Veronica Fox, who is currently starring as Susan in Tick Tick Boom at Theater 3, which, correct me if I'm wrong, this is closing on March 16th, right?
Yes.
I did my research. All right, so let's kick this off with a little introduction. Imagine this being the first time you're meeting your cast, right? You're going around the table. Everyone has to say a little blurb. We just got to you. Boom. What does Veronica say?
Hello, I'm Veronica Fox. I'm so happy to be here. I've been doing theater most of my life. I've been singing since I was a wee small child. And then in the day-to-day, I am an engineer and I work for a biotech company.
Oh, so we're smart. We're smart.
We're trying. And yeah, that's I an engineer by day and a thespian by night.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, awesome. So before, I had asked you to prepare 2 truths and a lie. I'm hoping you'll do better at this than Ryan Nolan did.
I think I do have 2 truths and a lie.
Right. I mean, it is in the title. All right. Yeah. It wasn't a trick question. All right. So what do you have?
Okay. All right. So first, I'm quite a good whistler. I taught myself to whistle from the Sweeney Todd, Pretty Women, I can do that whole little section of that song.
I may have just given that away as an actual truth.
We'll see.
Ooh, tricky. All right, good.
Yeah.
Good whistler.
So I'm a good whistler. I can name all of the presidents in chronological order.
Ooh.
And my arms are, I would say, double jointed, so I can move them in weird directions.
Okay. So 1, good whistler. 2, can name the presidents in chronological order. Or 3, double jointed arms. Well, I'm still going to stick to what I said before about the whistling.
Okay.
I feel like there was extra context around that. You sounded very confident and you sounded proud, right? You sounded proud of your whistling ability. So I'm going to say that might be true. Now, being double jointed or naming the presidents, I would have said the president's thing is impossible, right? Naming the president in chronological order. I don't even know if I could name 10. So in chronological order, but you are an engineer, right? So definitely smarter than I. And double jointed. I'm going to say that you are, or were you tricking me with the whistling? Ah, shoot. Because you really tripped me up with your response there. I thought I got you. I think you got me. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're not double jointed. I think that is the lie.
Do I tell you now?
Yes, yes, you do.
I am double jointed.
Oh,
Or whatever
okay,
you call it. Like they kind of pop out. It's a
right.
little
Whatever
scares people. Yeah.
dislocation is actually your friend.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Only
Okay.
only here. Yeah.
Okay. So then, what is the other truth?
The other truth is that I can name the presidents.
Oh my gosh!
I cannot whistle for my life. I've tried. I was like listening to the Sweeney Todd soundtrack recently, and I every time I try to do the whistle section, and
Uh-huh.
it doesn't work at all.
Oh
And
my
so many people have
goodness!
tried to teach me, and it
Wow.
hasn't happened. So one of these days, maybe, but for now, that's the lie.
Wow. I got God so good. Damn it. I told you I'm not good at this. I'm not good.
That's
So you
okay.
can name the presidents in chronological order. I think that's absolutely
Yeah.
wild.
You know, it's a little bit of a cheat though, because there's a song, and I shouldn't know that. Like so many years ago, there was a song that played. I think it was on Nickelodeon, and it was
Okay.
like during one of the elections. It was pre Obama,
Okay.
and they had, there's been a lot of presidents. Yep, 43. So there's only 43 at the time. Now
Okay.
let's name them all chronologically. Washington,
Fun.
Adams, and I knew the whole thing. And I think I specifically taught it to myself because I wanted to know.
You
I
wanted
just
to
wanted
know.
to know the song.
Right. You just want to be
Um,
a learned individual.
I mean, it's embarrassing, but it's
I don't think that's embarrassing. I think that's awesome. I'm telling you, like Washington, Lincoln,
yeah, those are
I
good.
guess Hamilton, right? Because he's on some money.
Hamilton was never a president.
You know what? Maybe I should just start right here.
He's a founding father, but he
He's a
wasn't.
founding father.
He was not
Damn. All right. So
the
even further away from 10 than I thought I was going to be.
we listen
FDR,
to
right?
Tom.
He was president, right? FDR.
FDR, yes,
And he
yes,
taught us that.
yes,
Right?
exactly. Getting a new
Who
deal.
else do we
Yeah.
have? Did Ross Perot ever win? Ross Perot?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, so he didn't. So I only have three, right? Shoot. I
Well, hey,
mean,
I
who
think you could
else?
probably name the most recent few. We
Oh,
have
right.
one right
Of
now.
course, we have Obama, Trump, Bush. Bush twice, right? Two
Yeah,
Bushes,
two
right?
bushes. Yep,
Right.
yep,
Bush, ado. Um, who else? Biden.
yep, yep.
Right? So what
That's
am
a
I up to? Is that only 6 or 7?
ooh,
I'm
I
not
think
doing
that's
great.
10. I think you
Oh,
got it.
Nixon. Nixon. I
Yeah,
heard a lot of bad things about him, right?
he
So he
resigned. He
right, right.
resigned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a rough go. Um, oh gosh, that's it. Ronald Reagan?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're getting closer.
He
I
was an
lost count,
actor.
but
He was an actor, so he's
oh,
gotta, you know.
okay. So we're supposed to share a kinship, is what you're saying. I should
Yeah,
have known.
we
I
can
should have
all
known
go with that actor to president route.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
I don't know. There might be a rougher road for some of us than others. But okay, so you're starring as Susan in Tick Tick Boom. I would love to know more about this. All I know about Tick Tick Boom is that it was obviously written by Jonathan Larson. This was before Rent. That's all I know. I've purposely stayed away from the entire thing
Oh.
because I felt like, yeah, I know there was a movie on Netflix with Andrew Garfield, was it?
Yes.
Um, I stayed away from all that because I said, you know what, I want to watch this as Jonathan intended, you know.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for like a good production to come up. So I'm super
Oh,
excited to see it at Theater 3 for sure. So tell me, what am I in store for? What exactly is Tick Tick Boom about, really?
yeah. So, I mean, you know a little bit of the surrounding, right? So it's written by Jonathan Larson.
Hmm.
It's semi autobiographical. So it is loosely based on his own experience. It's taking place over a week in his life. So it's the week
Okay.
leading up to his 30th birthday. And it's also leading up to a workshop for a musical that he's been writing for like 5 years. And so it's an incredibly important workshop for him. He's starting to, really think about where his life is leading. He wants to be a famous composer. Sondheim is like his big
Mhm.
all be all, what he wants to aspire to.
Okay.
And so it focuses on him, and it also focuses on his girlfriend, Susan, and his best friend and roommate, Michael. And so they're both artists as well. Michael was an actor, and then he went on to corporate America to have something more stable. Susan's a dancer. She teaches dance. Um, and Jonathan is a little bit, stuck in what he wants to do and how he wants to move forward and be the artist that he is. And they all decide to, go different routes and of how they want to express their creativity and the way that they pursue art. Um, and so, yeah, they're all getting older and they're all moving forward with their life.
All right, interesting. So it's like a moment in time
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Jonathan
I
Larson's
think
life.
it's specifically 1 week. Yeah, you start the show like a week out from his 30th birthday, I think. So,
All right,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. Um, what I do know about Tick Tick Boom, like prior to this, is that this is one of those shows, and Susan especially, one of those roles that a lot of people like dream of playing. I feel like I kind of put it in the same lane as like the last 5 years, like Chase
Mm,
and Robert Brown. Like everyone really, really wants to do it. It's seldom produced, so it's definitely like a bucket list kind of a role for
yeah,
most people. So would you say that that's the same for you? Like this is like something you always wanted to play, or how did this come about?
I have to be honest. I was not super familiar with Tick Tick Boom
Oh,
prior
okay.
to. Um, I had known of it a bit. So before the movie, I had heard maybe a few songs.
Mhm.
And then I ended up watching the movie, before Theater 3 ever announced, I think, that they were doing
Right.
it. I had watched the movie.
Mhm.
And I think at that point, I was like, oh, this is a really cool show. This is, okay, so there's the Susan character and there's the Caressa character and, all these different people. I hadn't known yet that they were all played by the same person in
Right.
the stage version. Um, but now that I'm doing the show, like, it's absolutely, if I had seen the show years ago,
Mhm.
it would have been a dream role because it is a dream. Like, I feel like I'm living a dream role now. I
Mhm.
love this character. I love all of the characters that I get to play, because it ends up being so fun. I get to, be Susan throughout the show, but then there's also a few like minor characters that I get to be a little sillier with, a little goofier. I get to do voices. Like it's just such
Oh, really fun.
so fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. So what would you say is like one of the most rewarding parts of playing Susan?
So for me, it's a challenge to play Susan, because I think she's so similar to who I am as a person. Like you're not really getting a caricature with her.
Mm,
Maybe some of the other characters in the show are very, you can play around with them and be silly and do voices, but Susan is just real. And she's the same age that I am. She's nearing her 30s, late 20s. She has the same dreams that I do. It hits very close to home.
kind of resonates with you.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. It's really relatable for me, and so it almost makes it a little more difficult because there are times where I'm like, "Am I really acting or am I kinda just living this?"
Yeah.
And so it's rewarding 'cause I don't know, it's like you don't get to play that very often and have such like a connection with the character.
Right.
Um, but it also makes it challenging as well. You really it's a fun show, but it's emotional and you feel it as you go through it. It's an hour and a half of just like
Mm.
it just being in it.
So would you say that maybe some of the closeness that you have like to that character and to this role is would you also say that's maybe one of the most challenging parts of it too? Or what
Yeah.
would you say? Yeah, what challenges have you had playing Susan?
I mean, but I don't want to give too much of it away.
Mm,
But they're
fair.
all three characters are going through it. You know, all three characters are trying to move forward with their lives. And so um it's difficult. Each of them have the struggles that they are trying to deal with throughout the show. Susan wants to move forward with her life. She wants to settle down. She wants to have a family, and she needs Jonathan to be there with her. She's trying to, you know, get out of the city. She doesn't want that
Mhm.
crazy nomad life. She wants to be in the suburbs. She wants to just have stability. Um, and so, you know, there's some of that tension with Jonathan.
Right.
You know, and I'm so lucky that Robbie Torres is our Jonathan. He's the most wonderful person, and it's such a comfortable connection that we have. And so, you know, there's some difficult scenes, but like everything is just so safe with him and so wonderful. But even just the scenes themselves can be tough. So it's challenging, but so rewarding.
Yeah, because we're dealing with 3 different individuals that have 3 different kinda goals for themselves, and
Yes.
that we're trying to all move towards the same thing, and that doesn't always align.
Mhm.
Like, that's what
Mhm.
I'm hearing in that,
Yeah.
which makes me even more excited, like, to come see it. Yeah, I can't wait to see exactly what this is. Um, do you have a favorite moment in the show?
I have a few. Oh my gosh. I
Mm,
mean, I love the whole show. It is an hour and a half without intermission. So
mm,
we're almost on stage like the whole time.
right.
Jonathan character is the entire
There it is.
time.
Right.
Um, he does not leave the show, and he only plays Jonathan. He
Jonathan.
doesn't take on the other roles like Susan and Michael or
Mhm.
others. But so he's on stage the whole time. I think I'm on stage, I mean, the majority of the time.
Right.
So
Sure.
there's a lot that we get to do that's just a lot of fun. I'm I get to sing the most beautiful song. I get to sing "Come to Your Senses," which I just absolutely love getting to do every night. It's so beautiful. And that kind of takes me through an emotional sort of up and down as well. It's just
Right.
like it's I love that moment in the show, and I love getting to do that. So that's a no-brainer. Um, but one of the few times that I get to leave the stage is during a duet between Jonathan and Michael.
Hmm.
Michael's played by Jason Fernari, and he is absolutely incredible as well. They're both just such wonderful people.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so they
also
have
kind of familiar with him from, like, a prior life, I feel
okay,
like,
yeah.
years and years ago at Theater 3.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think he's been there for a little while.
he has, yeah.
Yeah, so but I've never worked with either of them.
Hmm.
That was what like, we all came into this not knowing, you know, anything about each other. We'd be like,
Which
"Oh,
is
yeah, I've
super
met
fun. I like
you."
yeah, I love
Great
experiences like that,
thing.
especially in such a small cast
Yeah,
too.
because now we're
Yeah.
so close, like,
Mhm.
I love these guys so much.
Gosh.
But they have a song called "No More," and I try to like during their song, I'm getting out of costume and into a different one and having to get my stuff ready, but I try to do it as quickly as possible so I can watch a little bit and listen because they're just so great in that song. It's very Rent-esque, like it's that
Okay.
rock sort of like, you know, no more, you know, doing this and doing that because we got money and you know. So it's such a great song, and they nail it, and it's so fun and so funny. So I love getting to just watch a little bit when I have
Yeah.
the chance.
Oh, that's awesome. You know what I thought of as you were saying that too?
Yeah.
So obviously you're off stage, you're changing while all this is going on.
Mhm.
Is this your first show at Theater 3?
No, so
Oh.
I've done two other shows there. I did my first show ever there was Adam's Family.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a few years.
You had to be Wednesday.
No, no, I was in the ensemble. I was Jessica Murphy was our fantastic Wednesday. She was so good.
Murphy.
I was the courtesan. So I was basically Marie Antoinette, and I had to
Okay.
like draw on like fake blood like going down my neck. So that was really fun. I
Yeah.
went to Stony Brook, and so Theater 3 is like a 10-minute drive from Stony Brook, and I
Perfect.
got a chance to in my I did undergrad and grad school at Stony Brook. So in my grad year, I had a little more time. So I
Mhm.
ended up deciding to do a show, even though I typically wouldn't like do shows during the school year.
Right, right.
Um, but I did that one, and I just drove 10 minutes, and I fell in love with the theater. They're so wonderful there.
They're amazing
Um,
at Theater 3.
yeah,
Yeah. Always
I
such a
got
warm environment.
so
I
warm.
haven't done a show there in years, and, like, but I'm
Yeah,
always received as if I just got off stage, you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they're
they're
so great.
they're great. So that was my first experience there,
Mhm.
and it was so nice because it was like a 10-minute drive. And now I'm back home, and I live about an hour drive. So I would do more shows there if I could, but
Right.
it's quite a drive for me. But a few years later, I ended up doing Mamma Mia. So that
Hmm.
was just a fun show to do. That was like everybody was incredible in that.
Right.
And yeah, so this is my third show.
Mm. So
Theater.
after doing those 2 big shows there at Theater 3, it must feel so nice for you to walk into the ladies' dressing room and just
Oh
be
my god.
by yourself.
You
Like
had
that.
a seat in the
Yes,
dressing room. It's
yeah. So it must be a
like,
dream come true.
oh my god.
Absolutely.
And the
Oh,
other
that's
shows
so
we were like
great.
"Do you need the mirror? Can I squeeze in?" Like, 'cause they were full shows.
Right.
And now I'm like bothering the boys. I'm like, "Are you guys can I come in? Because 'Cause I'm
Can I come
lonely."
over?
I'm
Oh
like,
gosh,
"Come
that would be
in."
my dream come true. I don't like talking in the middle of things. Like if I'm in a show, I just want to be in my own world. I
Yeah.
like to come in early before anybody else gets there and like just
We
have a
all get there so early. We're there like an hour and a half before call.
oh, that's
Because and
awesome.
meanwhile, we have nothing to do. Like, there's no
Right.
dance call. There's no like, there's nothing. We have
Right. I
one
guess
mic
not.
check, and then we're just hanging out and talking and getting ready and mentally prepared for this show.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah, so
That's
it's fun.
wonderful.
It's
Yeah.
really fun.
Awesome. Awesome. You're certainly no stranger, right, to Long Island Theater. You've done a number of different shows around town. So, of the shows that you've performed in, like, which one would you say is your favorite?
That's so difficult. I really thought
I
I was
know.
really trying to think of like, because there's so many reasons why I fall in love with a show or the experience. Like, sometimes it's the show itself, sometimes it's the role that you get to play, sometimes it's
Mhm.
more often than not, it's the people that you're doing it with.
Right.
Um,
So, how about top 3? Top 3.
okay. Tick Tick Boom is top 3. It
Excellent.
it absolutely
Oh,
is.
good.
And I'm not just
Yeah.
saying that because it's ongoing, come
Right.
see it, but, like, I love this show. I love the people, like, everybody is just so wonderful,
Mm,
and I've fallen in love with the show itself. Like, I think there's just so much to it. You get a little bit of everything in such a quick amount of time. It's not a long show at all. Um, and I just have such a blast doing it, you know?
awesome.
So that's top 3 for sure. Um, I've done Into the Woods a couple of times.
Oh,
I love
really? Who are
Into the
you?
Woods. So when I was really young, like, it was one of the first shows I ever did. I was, like, the baker's wife when I was, like, 8,
Wow.
and then I was Little Red when I was, like, 10, um, and then in the last I don't know, it was probably, like, 10 years ago now, but I was the witch,
Oh,
and I loved
yeah, I'm sure.
Um, honestly, I'd like to just play every character in that show. Like, maybe over the course of my life, I'll get to like hit everyone. So, because I've got 3 under my belt.
Yeah.
Um, but I love Into the Woods. So,
Into the
probably,
Woods is fantastic.
yeah.
It's so super special. I only had the good fortune of playing the steward.
But you know
Um,
what? I would take the steward.
yeah, listen, you're actually in a lot of stuff. Like, you
Yeah,
do have, like, a few moments. It's like but it feels weird to say to people like, "Well, who are you?" Like, "The steward." They're like,
in
"Oh."
Act 2, he is pivotal.
He is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he really drives some things forward. I mean,
He
not
sure
to be
does.
spoilers, but God, like,
And that whole scene is, like, complete chaos too.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
love it.
justice for the steward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for him yeah. He needs more credit, although he's
Yeah,
kind of
he
like a bad
does.
guy, but, it's
Yeah. I mean, he's not nice,
yeah, he's not
but
a nice guy, but,
right.
he's important.
He is.
Um, yeah. Oh, I just love Into the It's one of my favorite shows ever, so, playing the witch was probably a top taught
I'm
my
sure. Like,
mom.
what fun music to sing
Yeah,
as the witch. Oh, yeah, and what a fun just a fun character all
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get to rap a little bit,
Mhm.
get to sing.
You
It's
get it all,
fun,
and
yeah.
you don't have to dance.
Yeah.
So
I like a dancing role, I
oh,
do.
you do,
I mean,
huh? Oof.
yeah, I've
No
had some
thanks.
really fun ones. There's a little bit of dancing in Tick, Tick, Boom. We've done a little
Okay.
bit, but, I've had some really fun dancing roles too, and, when I get to do that like, that's why I love if I'm in the ensemble of a show, like, if it's a big
Mhm.
dance show, I'm having the time of my life because I do love to dance. I don't consider myself a dancer. I don't I took dance for so many years, and I feel like I should be better.
That's like not
But
quite a dancing queen.
oh, well, listen,
Pun
we
intended.
were all dancing queens for Maria. We were all
Right.
but, I've definitely like, gosh, I'm trying to think of my other, like, my top 3, my last one as I'm
Yeah.
doing this, and, like, I got to be Mrs. Wormwood and Matilda, and she has
Oh,
a
see,
whole
I don't know
dance
Matilda.
she has a whole ridiculous dance number, um, called "Loud," and
Okay.
it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. It's basically just, like, a bunch of screaming and yelling on stage, but then, like, running around, and she's a it's quite different from the movie. From the movie, but that was a lot of fun too. Um, so yeah, I
Alright.
like the dancing shows, I do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Alright, good, good.
yeah.
Certainly different from your twin Gina.
Oh, Gina.
Yeah, who does not like the dancing shows as much.
Yeah, I do remember
Yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
It's so
god, it's been
funny.
so long since I've seen Gina.
No. She was like, "Tell her I said hi." I'm like, "I will, I will." There
Hi,
it is.
Gina.
Yeah, now she gets to see that we definitely did, alright?
Oh my god,
Check, check.
yes.
What would you say is, like, your favorite or funniest, like, on-stage moment? It
Oh,
also doesn't have to be yours, by the way. Like, did
I was
anybody
trying
else do something really silly?
oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like I've had some embarrassing moments of my own for sure over the years. I mean, the amount of times I've tripped on stage or cracked or just forgot words, that's always embarrassing.
I forget words a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think generally I'm pretty good about it. There have been times where, like, I just totally drew a blank and I was like, "I'm just gonna smile."
Yes.
I don't it's been a little while, knock on wood, since that's happened. Um, one of the things that I thought of, because when you say, embarrassing stories, like
Mhm.
one comes to mind, and this happened so many years ago. So now it's just funny. Because I was in high school as a child, and I was
Okay.
doing Pippin, and I was Fastrada, and
Okay.
so I don't know how well you know Pippin, but she's got this whole song and dance
Yes.
number, "Spread a
Mhm.
Little Sunshine." And my mic pack, like the actual pack itself,
Mhm.
fell in the middle of my
Okay.
song. And so I was wearing a dress too. So it wasn't like it just like completely fell through. So I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So now I'm like picking it up and like trying to put it like as I'm singing, right? And trying to put it back and it's not going. So the whole song is like there's some singing and then like a few lines and some more singing and a few lines, like little scenes. And so like in the middle of one of the scenes, I'm like, saying my lines, and then I'm like, "Can you help me with this, Lewis?" And like telling my son to like try to put the mic pack back because at this
Okay, so you
point
started to kinda work around it a little
I
bit.
was trying to. I tried so
Yeah.
hard, and so I was like, "Can you help me with this?" So then he's like trying to tuck it back in as I'm saying my lines. Then it falls again. He did not get it. It was not tucked in enough. So it falls again. And at this point, I just like pick it up and I'm dancing. So I'm just like twirling it as I
Oh
dance.
my god.
I'm like, I'm breaking the mic right now. This is so bad. This is so bad. And so I was just like holding it for half of the dance. And then by the end of it, I just yanked that whole thing off and sent it off with Lewis
Just
and did the
forget it.
rest of the dance. So I'm still a little scarred, I think, from that experience. So
I'm sure.
my mic pack on. And this was like, oh my God, probably not 15 years, 12 years. I don't know.
Mm.
It was a while ago. Um, and I'm a little bit scarred still, but
Yeah, it's super jarring because, like, no
yeah.
one, like, tells you how to prepare for moments
Mhm.
like that, right? So it's like, you're thinking about, like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, how much of this is noticeable? How
Yeah.
do I fix this?" You're still trying to sing, you're still trying to remember where
Yeah.
you're supposed to move. It
Yep.
is, like, just too much, like, complete
Yeah.
overload. Like, I usually walk off. Like, I just
I was like,
leave.
"Can I? Can I walk off right now?
Right,
Can
like,
I
can I
just
just,
stop
like,
the show?"
leave and just start again? We're
And I
starting over!
family there. I had family there, and,
Ugh.
it's I have it on video. I have it recorded,
Oh,
and I
I wish you came prepared with a clip.
I oh my god, I could show you, by yourself, but, yeah, every so often, I have to, like, humble myself and watch it and be like, "You know what? We've come a long way since
Right,
then."
exactly.
Yeah,
Look at us.
yeah,
I love that. That's so good. Eh.
you
So
gotta learn.
what's next for you after Tick Tick Boom? Is anything next? Do you have your eyes on anything?
I don't have anything right now. I always try to take a little break. Like if I do a lot of shows in a row, or
Right.
even just like 2 shows in a row, I'm like, "Okay, I need a little break." And I always say that, and then I end up doing something else, like something else just
That's
falls
how it
into my
goes.
lap.
Yeah. One thing
Um,
just kind of rolls into another, rolls into
yeah,
another. Yeah.
yeah, it's not on purpose all the time, you know. I had said, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break," and then I ended up with Tick Tick Boom. I never really know. But I'm waiting to hear what some of the seasons are, some of the upcoming seasons for the theaters around me. So I'm curious about
Right.
that. But yeah, as of anything specifically lined up, no, not yet. So
Okay. Yeah,
mhm.
because we're still waiting for Theater 3 to drop their season, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
I've
think they're
kind of
waiting.
been watching the website like a hawk.
Yeah, I know, I know. I
Yeah.
wish I knew.
'Cause it's usually around this time that they usually, if not a little sooner sometimes. I feel like this is like
Yeah, I think they're having to wait on, ensuring that they have the
that they
right,
have things before
and I
they
think
start
it's
announcing
taking
stuff.
longer with
Mm,
those companies, yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're planning on announcing that soon. I think as soon as they get confirmation, so I'm eagerly
Alright,
awaiting that
yeah.
for sure, and a few others, and, yeah, we'll have to see.
Alright, excellent.
Yeah.
So anybody watching, listening, how can they find out what you're going to be doing next? Where can they find you in social media?
Oh, sure. I am on Instagram as Veronica Shea, so
Mhm.
Shaye, and I'll usually post if I end up doing something there. I'm on Facebook. I don't do too much social media. Don't find me on the TikTok. Don't do it.
I don't understand
I
TikTok.
haven't posted on Twitter in years. Like I'm not doing that. So yeah, Instagram's probably your best bet.
Alright, awesome. Well, thank you again for taking time out of your workday just to talk to me.
Of
This was
course.
a lot of fun.
Thank you
So
so much for
happy to finally actually meet you. We had a little discourse on the last
oh,
episode. I was
I
like, "Wait a
know.
minute." I'm like, "I don't think I've done a show with her, but for some reason I feel comfortable with her." And I was like,
I
"Where did
well,
that comfortability
I
come from?" I
know.
guess
I've
just
known you
prep
for so
days.
many years. I mean,
Yeah,
like, we've both been around.
right.
It just yeah, I was thinking about it, I was like, "We have not done a show."
Yeah. I was
Right?
like yeah, I'm like, "Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so," because, again,
Awfully
and it would
right.
have had to be years and years ago if that was the case.
Yeah. I mean,
Right,
I was doing cap shows since I was a child.
right,
Uh,
and I was like, "She could have been," because, I mean, you are considerably younger than I. I'm like, "So she could have been running around." She could have and I just, like, wouldn't have known it, so it's like, it's certainly
I mean,
possible, but,
it's
like
always possible. I've found out, like, you know, I'll do a show with somebody and then be like, "Wait, you were in this show this many years ago? Oh my god, we were in this show together." And,
you're
like,
like,
not
"We were? Oh,
yeah, I had no
okay."
idea. You'll have to you, like, put the pieces together. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think you and I have ever done a show, but hopefully we will. Hopefully it's in our future.
hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see what Theater
Yeah.
3 is doing next. It's about
Yeah,
an hour
we'll
away
see.
from me too, so, like, could meet in the middle.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Alright,
Mhm.
excellent. Well, thank you again, and I can't wait to see Tick, Tick, Boom this weekend. I'm
Can't
super,
wait to
super
see you
excited. Yeah,
there. So
can't
excited.
wait. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for
Of
having
course.
me.
No problem. Thank you again to Veronica Fox for hanging out with me this past week. Please go see Tick Tick Boom at Theater 3. It's running until March 16th, so I think you've only got like 2 weekends left, so get in there if you can. Again, you can catch the full review at thekylepettyshow.com, and I will be at the Wild Party this Friday at Cap Merrick, and you can catch the review for that either over the weekend or Monday, Tuesday. Again, I'm definitely on my self-care thing, so we ain't trying to rush or nothing, but we do want it to be out in a timely manner. You can find me on the rest of the socials at The Kyle Petty Show or personally at I'm Kyle Petty. And thanks for hanging. Thank you for the support, and I'm out of here. Thanks a lot.